今天我们带大家再次来认识一位大神啊，克里斯·伯奇。如果你是一个越野爱好者，或者你是 KTM ADV 的用户，你对他一定不陌生。他拿过3次非洲越野耐力赛的冠军，2012年拿过达喀尔新人组的第2，他也拿过8次新西兰越野耐力赛的冠军。更重要的身份呢，是他是 KTM 全球的形象大使，他制作过无数 ADV 越野的教学视频。而今天呢，我们也是来到了他在新西兰的家里啊，带着大家一起跟他提一些问题。
大家好，我是 Chris Birch.
It's our great opportunity to meet you in person, and we have prepared a question list.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe some personal, maybe
Okay.
some about your career path.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Chris. What's the age when you first ride a motorbike for the very first time?
The best way to answer that, when your wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
And you go to the classes to learn how to look after the baby and antenatal classes.
Yeah.
My mum rode a trials bike to all those classes. So ready to go. Yeah. I don't actually remember learning how to ride a motorbike. I would have been maybe 4 years old, something like that. But my mother, my father, my grandfather all ride bikes, so it's always been part of my life. People have to edit it. Let me show you. I've got a good answer. So,
whoa.
Yeah, the best answer. This is my grandfather in World War II. This is my father riding a KTM at the ISDE. And this photo was taken on the 25th of September, 1980, the day I was born. So my mum was in the hospital. My dad was in France racing a motorbike.
Oh, yeah.
This is me at the 6th day in New Zealand, in the Team New Zealand. And it's my daughter Zoe. So, yeah. Definitely a motorcycling family.
Yeah. That's a military bike.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Does it look like Harley?
Definitely won't be. British Army.
Sawa.
Yeah, it'll be a BS, some shitty BSA or something.
BSA.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah. That was a 175cc two-stroke KTM.
Is that air cooled?
Air cooled, yeah. No, probably a horrible bike, but
yeah.
How do you describe motorcycle in your life? Is that a hobby or a career?
It's definitely it's much more than a hobby. I'm fortunate that it's a passion.
It's a passion.
It's something I absolutely love doing, and I've been able to make a career from that. Yeah, it wasn't always the way. Like up until I was maybe 32, I still had to work full time, and then it was possible to make a living from motorcycle riding after that.
We would like to have several questions about training.
Mm-hmm.
Some maybe about the Guan's rally team's training, and some about our amateur adventure bike rider.
Mm-hmm.
I think let's start from amateur riders. If they switch from road riding to off-road riding, what would you suggest? Maybe several.
Yeah, it's if you're coming from road riding, from street riding into off-road, it's very, very important to get some lessons. Because the techniques, especially for the cornering, are just completely different. It's almost like you have to accept that you're learning a whole new sport, a complete new sport. For me, the struggle I had was going the other way. So my background was all purely off-road. I did no street riding up until maybe sort of 10, 15 years ago. So I had to go and learn all the road techniques, and it felt almost like committing suicide at times, having to do everything the opposite of what I feel to be normal. So it was a really good thing for me to do, because then I could relate more to my clients that were coming from road into off-road.
Yeah.
And hey, this is why we're doing the total opposite technique. So it is very, very important to get some instruction, because there's a lot of knowledge that you need to be safe.
And that is the origination why you make the video series about the ADV license.
Yeah, for sure. The main motivation for making the series initially was because I was getting asked to go to so many countries around the world. There's only one of me, and I just wanted a nice way to be able to say no to people. So imagine like someone says, "Hey Chris, will you come and do riding schools in Nicaragua?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't have the time." But yeah, watch this video. This will help you. It was a nice way to help people without having to physically get there.
Yeah, that's the way most of the Chinese riders know you from the video series.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I know you went to China last year.
Yeah.
For a KTM ADV license.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you going to China sometime next?
Yeah, I'm going again this year.
Oh.
We'll make I think two clinics, and then do the KTM Adventure Rally.
Oh,
which I'm really excited for. I think it's going to be a great trip.
Okay.
I honestly truly enjoyed the trip to China last year. Like it was really cool. To be honest, like that was my second time going to China. The first time I hated it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just, you know, I'm not a big city person. We spent our whole time in Beijing.
Yeah.
You know, coming from here, it was a lot of pollution. And,
Yeah.
it was very, very early in the in adventure riding in China, and you know, it was not the best experience. But this last time, it was like a complete 180. Like really good experience, beautiful nature, cool place to go, really nice people. I had my opinion changed completely.
Okay, my next questions may be about Guan's rally team. It seems that you played an important role in the team, like a coach or like a advisor. Not really.
Not yet, but Chris definitely gave us a lot of about what we need to prepare, what we should do. Yeah.
So, you know, just spending some time with Hao Yu and you know, talking with Guan, you know, different ideas and how we can bring this together. Obviously, you know, the terrain around New Zealand is very, very different to what they're going to experience in the Dakar. But for me, like especially with Hao Yu, you know, he's a young guy, and just trying to give him as much experience, as much variety in his experience as possible. And you know, I can't teach him roadbook, I can't teach him how to send it through sand dunes, but I can teach him other skills that will be, I'm sure, of benefit to him in the Dakar.
And I think that those are all precious for them.
Yeah.
And
I think probably the biggest thing we've taught Hao Yu is perseverance so far. Like we've tortured him pretty hard, and he's made the finish every time.
Yeah. So far as you know Hao Yu, I'd like to hear your opinion on how far they can go on their Dakar debut.
I mean, I would hope to finish. Yeah, that's got to be the goal. It's definitely not an easy thing to finish. It's going to be a real challenge for them in terms of everything. You know, mental, physical, emotional for sure. But I think there's no reason why they can't make the finish. And you know, for your first time in Dakar, that can be the only sensible goal.
Yeah, but you got a top 30 standing on your Dakar debut, right?
Yeah. But you got to remember at that stage, like I had no idea what I was doing in rallies, but I'd been racing motorbikes for 30 years at that point, 20 years at least. You know, I'd ridden 6-day enduros, Romaniacs, Roof of Africa. I had a lot of experience in multi-day off-road racing to bring into it. I had no idea what I was doing in rally, but I had a lot of other experience to bring to it. And that's kind of what I've been trying to put into Hao Yu as well. Yeah, I can't really teach you rally, but I can, you know, you need as many tools in your toolbox as possible.
Do you have any more suggestions for their training before their debut Dakar?
All day, every day.
Everyday training. Everyday training.
Yeah.
Riding skill and physical training.
I was saying to Hao Yu, like he should be riding his bike, training, learning English, or sleeping.
Oh yeah.
If he's not doing one of those 4 things, he's wasting time. Yeah. I think the big challenge, like with all due respect, it was a big challenge with working with you as well. Same thing with Hao Yu, is like trying to get people to understand the severity of the task that they're taking on.
Yeah.
And so often, and I get this with like training guys for Romaniacs as well. Like they think, Chris, like calm down. Like I'm not trying to win this. Like, dude, I know.
I'm just trying to finish
it. And if we were trying to win it, we'd be on a totally different program. But it's until you've done an experience like these multi-day events, it's very hard to get your head around just how big a situation it is. Yeah. Like for example, like doing this KTM Adventure Rally. You know, it was a tough ride, but it was a freaking walk in the park compared to Dakar. Yeah. So for me, like I was very fortunate when I raced Dakar. Like I had no idea what the hell I was doing, but I was probably one of the fittest guys there. So okay, I don't need to worry about fitness. That's not something I need to worry about. I had a really good set of riding skills. So okay, I know I'm going to be able to ride my bike through all the terrain. That's not a problem. Don't need to worry about that. And that freed my mind up to worry about all the things I didn't know. Whereas if you're not quite fit enough, the riding skills aren't quite there, it's your first time in a rally, you don't really know what's going on, there's too much for the processor, right? There's just too many different factors going on. So we need to try and remove as many factors as possible. And, you know, the fitness is the easiest one. Like, you just go and do it. Like, we know how to do that. It's also the cheapest one as well.
Yeah.
You know, for me, like with my hard enduro, with my racing, like I never had much money. But my silly way of thinking was, well, it costs nothing to get fitter, so I'll just be the fittest guy there. I might not have the best bike, I might not have the best support group, I'll just be the fittest guy there. And that gives you so much confidence.